I am making this video because when I was having my total knee replacement 2 weeks ago today, I turned to YouTube for advice, tips, etc. And I think some things were missing that I was looking for, at least now I know they were missing. So just a little background. I had a total knee replacement 2 weeks ago today. I've made this video a couple times, but when I go and look back, I look ghastly. So if that's going to tell you anything, that it's going to take you 2 weeks to not look ghastly, if that's all you take away from this video, I think that's fair. So I put on some makeup, thank you beauty counter, and took a shower and did all that today on my 2-week anniversary. Feel better. One of the very biggest mistakes I made before my knee surgery, going on YouTube and trying to figure out expectations, or even asking my doctor or people at the hospital about when will I feel better, when will I feel normal, when will I use the cane, blah, blah, blah. And you start to think, if you can't use the cane by Monday, if your knee doesn't have a certain percentage of bending by Tuesday, this whole thing's a wash. So instead of that, here's what you should do. Take 2 weeks of your calendar, 2 weeks post-knee surgery, and say, somewhere in those 2 weeks, I'm going to fill in the blank. Feel better, use the cane, sleep better, have good mobility, somewhere in those 2 weeks. And that way, it's freedom, you're off the hook for this like day-to-day expectation. Now this is my segment on prep. So I am a realtor, and I was doing an open house at one of my listings in the late summer, and I met a dietitian, and she gave me loads of good tips. So why the medical world and the nutritional world don't come together more often, I don't know. But I'm going to share her tips because she texted me. I'm going to screenshot that, and then you can get all of her tips as well. That is my tip number 1. Tip number 2, figure out before your surgery how you're going to sleep. That means ask doctors what's allowed for me to, how am I allowed to sleep. I lost a week of my life trying to sleep in the bed because they want your leg to be straight as possible, and was in terrible pain and didn't sleep. So I then asked my physical therapist, who came to the house 1 week later, can I sleep in the recliner? And she said, of course. What was I thinking, not asking? My whole life changed on that day. So please, ahead of time, think about how you're going to sleep and then what you need to make that possible. So, example, maybe you don't have a recliner, try to get one. If you're in a recliner, how do you use a pillow? I use my airplane pillow. So just all these things that could have happened before that would have been easier for me from the get-go. Oh yeah, one more thing back at the sleeping. So if you don't have a recliner, etc., and you do end up sleeping in bed, but you need your feet elevated, I found having my legs elevated on pillows was really hard. So a friend of mine found this excellent gadget, and my PT said it would have been completely fine for me. Okay, here's another thing. I happen to have a pair of compression socks because I've had my hips replaced. One day, maybe 3 days, we don't know. Again, who knows what happened in that first week, but my leg was super swollen, and I got those old compression socks out and put them on, and I can't tell you the difference. They're miracle workers. So get a good pair of compression socks, and get a good pair, meaning I went to like a local medical supply place. So don't get some junky ones. I don't know why I'm saying that, because I don't know much about compression socks, but I would just get something really good. Okay, I'm checking my list. Okay, all right. I have a really hard time sleeping generally. And I definitely have a hard time sleeping when it comes to taking narcotics. Is that the right word, narcotics? You know, like Oxy and Norco and all those. So my doctor has allowed me to take Benadryl. So please ask your doctors what you can take before you start suffering of no sleep, because no sleep, painful sleep equals absolutely torturous days. So without that Benadryl, I don't know where I'd be. I mean, really in life, not just for this surgery. After the first week, the nurse who visits you at home is going to take off your bandage and put on a new bandage. And that new bandage, the first bandage, you can shower in. It's sealed. But that second bandage, they really don't want it getting wet. They don't want it getting wet. Well, you have it for a week. You take a shower, right? I did what I would call like a 5-star job wrapping this bandage with saran wrap and kitchen garbage bags and medical tape, taping this whole thing up. I mean, short of like putting on like a pair of snow pants, nothing could have permeated what I put on my leg, and the bandage still got wet. So here's what I say. Just ask your nurse for extra bandages. I finally did that the other day. She gave me them. So if it gets wet, I take it off. I put on a new one. It's no big deal. It's much better than sitting with a wet bandage on your knee, and it's much better than not showering. I'm going to end this by saying, please be kind to yourself. Please know that everybody heals in their own time. And some days are awesome, some days really are hard, and that first week is hard. I don't mean a little. I mean, it's hard, and people told me that. I should know that. I expected that, and it still was hard. So don't forget that in this surgery, it's not just the knee that's going through a lot of trauma. I didn't want to even think about what they're doing with the rest of the leg, but I kind of know what goes on with the rest of the leg to get that replacement in place. Come on, that's no joke. Everything hurts. Your quads, your shin bones. Why do my shin bones hurt? Well, you don't want to know. I'm telling you, they just do a lot with the leg to get the replacement in place, and that's what has to happen. So just be kind to yourself. It hurts. It's okay. Don't think like, oh, I heard a guy on day 3 was pain-free, and nope, don't do it. Just say, I watched a YouTube video, and this really fabulous, young and hip gal who should be in better shape than most people who get knee replacements still said it hurt a lot for a long time, at least a week. And it's okay, right? I'm at the 2-week anniversary today. I still use the cane, kinda. I'm getting there. I'm gonna get there. Be kind.